final for the 7-year-old horses. Longines is proud to be the title partner and the official timekeeper of the Longines FEI WBFSH World Breeding Dressage Championships for young horses. The brand is also delighted to present the official watch of the event, a new model from the iconic Hydro Conquest collection, which combines technical excellence and traditional elegance, both distinguishing hallmarks of Longines. The Longines final for 7-year-old horses is about to start. The comment after the test will be given by Mr. Gardner from Great Britain. 15 competitors, 12 out of the first qualification and 3 competitors out of the small final.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Longines FEI WBFSH World Breeding Dressage Championships for young horses. This is the final competition and it's the final for the 7-year-old horses. It's been an incredible competition so far and we are certainly finishing on a high. The first competitor in the arena is competing for Sweden, Jana Hochberg, riding Astoria, a Sir Donahue second OLD out of a quarterback mare. She is a Swedish warm blood. And in the qualifier, this partnership were 13th, so they qualified in the small final yesterday. They scored 75.011%. So let's see if they can do one better today. Into the arena, Jana Hochberg riding for Sweden, riding Astoria, the 7-year-old mare. This partnership won the small final yesterday with 79.6. Lovely uphill frame in the medium trot. Could have had a bit more swing through the back in that medium. Good positioning in the shoulder in. Lovely and soft and supple through those 2 half circles. Could have maybe seen a little bit more bend and flexion in the half pass. Really athletic trot. Nice and elastic. Could have had a bit more stretch, I think, in that half circle. But they create a really wonderful, harmonious picture. again, some good steps in the extended trot. Could have just seen her swing a bit more over the back. Just hollowed slightly in the medium. Really springy half pass. Lovely. And into the walk. Lovely and relaxed in the walk. Good over track. Could take the rein down a little more. But really lovely in the frame. I love this mare's ears. Losing a tiny bit of activity in the pirouette there. And again, losing a bit of activity in that one also. Change. Nice positioning in the half passes. Super uphill, extended canter there. Great suspension. Just struggling a little bit in the pirouette, but nice and balanced in the counter-canter. Much better in the pirouette that way. Kept the activity better that time. Just dropped off of the driving aids in the first one. And again, a nice flying change. A little bit late in front. Good second change. Late behind on that last one. First two were good. And into their final halt. That was Jana Hochberg riding Astoria, the beautiful mare by Sir Donahall II OLD, out of quarterback. Representing Sweden. Some lovely tests there. Let's hear from the judge at sea, Andrew Gardner.
Please go to ermelo.younghorses.com and press audio. All you need is your telephone and earphones, and then you have live comment. Mr. Gardner, it's up to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this championship for the 7-year-old horses. Thank you very much, Jude, for your test. I would just like to mention something before we start discussing the test today. I'd like to explain that the panel's functions are a little bit different than we had for the 5 and the 6-year-old classes. The judges sitting at C and E judged quality in the same way as we did for the 5 and 6-year-olds. But now the requirements of the training and the responsibilities for showing the horses' development has increased for the 7-year-olds. there are two colleagues judging independently at B and at H who are just looking at the technical requirements. So the end result, I'll be commenting on the quality, but those marks are then placed alongside the technical marks that will be given to give an overall. So thank you very much for showing us your beautiful mare this afternoon. The trot we found always to be regular, with good elasticity, light-footed, and with impulsion, showing a clear overtrack in the medium. Could have perhaps a little bit more difference for the extension, but still showing a lot of quality, and we like the uphill impression. Through the lateral work, lost a little bit of the connection and throughness, but still we were satisfied with the quality there. Could have had perhaps a bit more stretch in the give of the rein, but 8.8 we've rewarded. In the walk, we're looking for the qualities of rhythm and relaxation, activity, ground cover, and freedom of the shoulders. We saw all that, the rhythm always nicely maintained, clear relaxation as we see here, and we awarded 8.5. Again, the canter had the quality of giving a good uphill impression, good with the hind leg in the technique, occasionally losing a little bit of the impulsion, but still showing, particularly in the second pirouette, the ability to collect, and we awarded 8.7. For submission, there was generally a nice way of going, but there were a few little issues today which we have to reflect. The pirouette in the one direction where there was a mistake with the hind legs, and not always as fluent as we'd like to see in the changes, recognizing, of course, the degree of difficulty that has certainly increased now for a test for the 7-year-olds. But today we awarded 7.9. For perspective, 8.5, a very elegant mare, clearly with a lot of talent, and we wish you good luck with her going forward. Thank you very much.
So some lovely comments there from Andrew Gardner, our judge at C, and just explaining how the judging system works for the 7-year-olds. So 8.8 for the trot, 8.5 for the walk, 8.7 for the canter, 7.9 for the submission, 8.5 for the perspective. That equals 77.186%.
And what did you do in spectator judging?
So you can see there the marks for the quality and the marks for the technical, and then giving an average.
Jana Hochberg and Astoria. As I said, if you want to have live comments, please go to ermelo.younghorses.com.
So the next horse and rider into the arena, we have Malundix for riding Hot Spot PB, a KWPN gelding by Dance Forever out of Gestion Cocktail Mare, representing the Netherlands.
Mr. Anderson at H, Mrs. Barup, and at B, Mr. Campos from Spain. The next rider for the Netherlands, Malundix and Hotspot PB. The gelding by Dancer Forever and Cocktail, representing KWPN. Malundix, Hotspot PB.
So the bell has gone for Anna to start her test. You can see the countdown at the top of the screen there. So starting her test for the final of the 7-year-old championships. Anna Malundix, Hotspot PB. Lovely elastic mare. Sorry, gelding. Super steps in the medium trot. Really light-footed trot. Great natural energy as well. Maybe see a little bit more bend in the half pass. Nice stretch in the trot, really showing a clear difference. Good balance. And into the extended trot, covering the ground. Not a huge overtrack in the extension. Maybe like to see some more suspension there, a little bit more engagement of the hind leg. Good in the half pass this way. Clear rhythm in the walk. I think you could have a bit more freedom of the shoulder in the extension. Taking the rein down nicely though, really showing a good stretch. Like to see more ground cover for the higher marks. A little bit quick there in the collected walk. Keeping the activity nicely though in the pirouette. Good. Nicely on the aids in the canter transition. Nice half passes. Big ground covering, extended canter. Maybe see a little bit more swing through the body there. Started off quite large in the pirouette, but actually it finished really nicely. Good balance. Not the most expressive change there, but a clean, correct one nonetheless. Again, that first step rather large and then tightening it up towards the end. Much more expressive change there. Good 4 times. Again, I'd like to see more suspension for the higher marks, but they were all clean. And now for the 3s. Better. Better in the 3s. So coming down the centre line and finishing their test. And Moulendijks there for Holland, for the Netherlands. riding her beautiful gelding, KWPN by Dance Forever, Hot Spot PB.
Longines final for 7-year-old horses. Kijk, daar komt ze nog 1 keer langs.
Let's hear from Andrew Gardner.
So, and thank you very much. We saw Hotspot. The trot we found generally very fluent, giving a good impression, and with a clear shoulder freedom. We were drawn a few times to the hind leg where we feel the horse could have a little bit more support from an active hind leg, because occasionally there was just some loss of balance which we think would be improved when the leg is more there in support. We appreciated the horse showing and maintaining relaxation in the stretch through the body and in keeping the tempo, and we awarded 8.0. The walk was always in a clear rhythm and relaxed. It could be a bit more active. It's a marching pace to walk, so we'd like to see a little bit more marching activity, but we were confident that the rhythm was well maintained, and we awarded a mark there of 7.5. Canter, we felt, was a very nice uphill impression, with the horse always carrying. Times could have been a little bit more through, and taking a little bit more weight behind, but we did see the potential in the pirouette, and very happy with the canter rhythm. So today we awarded an 8.2. In terms of submission, on occasions there was some loss of collection, I think due to perhaps the inconsistency of carrying behind, but generally a fluent test. Times could have been a little bit more through in the connection. We awarded 7.7. We think it's a horse that showed genuine attitude, positive work today, scope for even more marks in the future as the training develops, and we award 8.0 for perspective. Thank you very much.
Some good marks there for an 8 for the trot, a 7.5 for the walk, an 8.2 for the canter, a 7.7 for submission, and an 8 for perspective, giving her a total of 74.471%, putting her at the moment into second place. You can see there the quality 78.8 and the technical 70.1, giving the average of 74.471.
Representing KWPN.
So next into the arena is Marta Fries, riding her DVB, the gelding KWPN by Don Chufro out of a Johnson mare.
Now we go to the number 3, again representing KWPN. Koninklijk Warmbloed Paard. Paard in Nederland. Habibi DVB, de zoon van Don Chufro Mal Johnson TN. En dan in de moederlijn ook nog de hengste Ulft. Wordt gereden door Marta Fries.
So the bella's gone for Marta to start her test. So into the arena now. Marta Fries on Habibi DVB. This partnership was 16th in the qualifier with 74.402. So they were second in the small final with 78.784, bringing her into this 7-year-old final, just losing the balance there in the medium trot. Beautiful uphill gelding. Really elastic horse. again, loss of balance there. The aid for the half pass and the canter are quite similar, where the rider has to slide their outside leg back, and so just a bit of a miscommunication there. Lovely stretch, real relaxation. Better in the extended trot, really covering the ground. Lovely over track. It's losing a little bit of throughness there on the half circle. Just affecting the connection a little bit at times. A small head tilt there towards the end. Into a nice relaxed walk. Lovely, taking the rein down into a lovely stretch. The walk's getting better as it goes on. It's certainly marching, not the biggest over track though that we've seen today. I think we might see some better walks later on in this class. Maintaining the activity nicely. Good pirouette. Staying nicely to the bridle. Good half passes and changes. Nice and supple. Yeah, really covering the ground in the extended canter. And a lovely change at the end there. Really expressive. Lost a tiny bit of activity going into the pirouette, but good activity around there. Pretty good balance as well in the counter-canter. Yeah, good. Obviously showing the ability to really collect. Lovely change at the end. So onto her fours. Really travelling forward beautifully there in the changes. Expressive straight changes too. Give and rotate to show that he's in self-carriage. And onto the threes. Again, plenty of natural activity in this canter. Or just a little bit of lack of balance there at the end. But a really nice canter tour. And coming down the final centre line into the halt. Marta Fries riding her BB DVB. Gorgeous gelding by Don Chufreau. out of a Johnson mare. I should think she'd be pretty pleased with that.
Marta Fries and Habibi DVB representing KWBN.
Riding here for Holland, for the Netherlands. Let's hear what Andrew Gardner has to say.
Thank you very much. We saw Habibi, a horse in the trot that has incredible power, and what we were really drawn to was the very good technique with the hind leg. We felt the hind leg was always carrying and well placed under the body in support and reaching for the center of gravity. The quality of the trot was maintained throughout. We had a little bit of a blip that we've reflected in the submission mark, but for the trot, with all the qualities, we've awarded 9.0. The walk today showed some variation in the rhythm at times, wasn't always a clear 4-beat, and it varied at the beginning and coming into the collected walk with some signs of a little bit of tension. We have to reflect that, and today we've come to a 6.7. The canter showed again power with a nice uphill impression. The shoulder freedom developed, particularly we saw as the horses, we see it on the video screen there, really in the ability to open and the shoulder becomes freer and freer. Also, we saw at the other end of the extreme the ability to collect and with fluency, and 8.5 is what we have awarded. For submission, we came to an 8. We had to reflect a few interruptions, the horse breaking, but generally we feel that we're confident that the horse is on very nice lines and showing great potential. We saw potential in the second canter pirouette and fluency in the flying changes. So yes, the 8.0 for submission, and then for perspective, 8.2. We think the horse has a lot of scope, a lot of power, ability for development of the collection, and a very promising future. So thank you very much.
A great score there for Marta Fries on her BB DVB, a total of 75.257, a trot of 9, a walk for 6.7, a canter 8.5, submission for an 8, and perspective 8.2. So the quality mark is 80.8 and technical 69.714, giving an average of 75.257 into second place. Receiving our first 9 there for the trot. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come.
Rank number 2, that's the same, 76.436%. That's rather close.
So next into the arena
in the technical part, instead of 70.143, is it 70.286, and the final result 74.543%. Hotspot BB on the Molenlegs. Well, the next
rider in is Anna Zibrandtsen, representing Denmark, Uno Don Olympic, out of a Don Olimbrio, by Don Olimbrio, out of a Del Piro mare. Another gelding into the arena.
It's the 4th competitor, Uno Don Olympic.
Our 4th rider into the arena. The bell has gone. So about to start their test. Anna Zibrandtsen on Uno Don Olympic. Massively uphill horse, just losing a little bit of balance there at the beginning of the medium trot. Just at times tucking the nose behind the vertical slightly as well. Hugely, oh, loss of balance again. It's the second one we've seen do that today. Again, just a little miscommunication. The horse thinks it's being asked to canter instead of the half pass. Nice relaxation in the stretch. Again, I'd like to see the nose stretch out in front a little bit more, just going down and tucking behind the vertical. We want to see the pole at the highest point. Huge overtrack in the extended trot there. Beautiful moments of suspension. Again, a very naturally uphill horse. Crept onto the shoulder a little bit in that transition into walk. Just losing his attention as well in the extended walk. I'd like to see more relaxation, but he's got the ground cover. Again, a good rhythm in the walk so far. Hopefully he can maintain that for the collected walk as well. So far, so good. Nice pirouette, kept the activity. Just rhythm affected now. Just losing his attention. He wants to be in the VIP area rather than being in the arena having to work. Oh, that's a shame. Again, just showing the tension there, and he struck off on the wrong stride, on the wrong leg. But luckily, Anna was able to correct it very quickly. Just losing a bit of balance at the end of the half pass there. Oh, hugely uphill canter. Lovely suspension. Just losing a bit of throughness there towards the end. Good ability to collect. Good balance in the canter too. Problems before the pirouette. But again, very well recovered. Anna's doing a brilliant job of really riding him through this and giving him confidence, making the small corrections that's needed, and just keeping him calm and under control. But lots of mistakes there that will affect the submission mark overall. I didn't really see much give and retake of the rein there. Good threes. Really smart in the changes. Lovely and balanced. And down the final centre line. Oh, lost the balance there down the centre line, but into their final halt and salute. Anna Zibrandtsen on Uno Don Olympic for Denmark. And beautiful Danish warm blood gelding by Don Olimbrio. And lovely test there. Let's hear what the judges think.
Danish warm blood society with this, Don Olympic.
So Anna, thank you very much for showing us Uno Don Olympic. We saw in your trot much energy and a lot of expression, power, always in a clear rhythm. Occasionally we were troubled by the contact which felt to be rather strong and occasionally inclined to draw back in the neck, which we've dealt with in the submission. That aside, we still saw a lot of quality in the trot that we appreciated. We'd like a more forward and downward stretch in the give and retake of the reins, but the rhythm was quite well maintained and also the balance. Good overtrack in the extension, and at times a very, very attractive picture. An 8.7 is our mark. The walk varied a little bit and some tension developed. In the extended walk in particular, we need to see more overtrack, which I think would come from greater relaxation and the horse being more over his back and through the body. And then we saw some tension creeping in to the collected walk. The rhythm was maintained throughout, a clear 4-beat rhythm, but we've reflected these in arriving at our mark of 7.3. We think the canter is very athletic and uphill, always clear in the rhythm. We like the way the canter comes off the ground, and today we've awarded 8.3. In submission, we had a number of issues to deal with. Unfortunately today, perhaps the tension of the event and the pressure, there were quite a number of mistakes in the canter depart and the break going into the half pass, and a mistake in the pirouette. We have to reflect that because that influences the way of going for today, at least. But we were a little concerned sometimes to see the horse inclined to open the mouth and draw back with the tongue, and often looking a little bit strong in the contact. We're looking for more forward, softer contact, and then we can see the potential for these marks growing even more. 6.9. Clearly a horse with a lot of potential, an athletic scope. Today a few issues, I'm sure easily resolved by you as your training develops. 8.0, thank you.
Some lovely scores there for Anna Zibrandtsen. So 8.7 for the trot, 7.3 for the walk, 8.3 for the canter, 6.9 for submission, and an 8 for perspective. Totaling in 73.021. You can see the average there. 78.4 quality, 67.6 for technical. That goes into 4th place so far.
304%, the highest score until now. That's what you gave. The next rider.
So the next rider into the arena representing Belgium is Larissa Pauluis. First Step Valentin. This horse is by Vitalis out of a feeder mark mare. A lovely chestnut stallion. They were 3rd in the small final for 7-year-old horses with 77.716. So just taking that final place in this final here today. Entering the arena, Larissa Pauluis riding first Sepp Valentin. Lovely reach in the medium. Just losing a bit of the regularity there towards the end. Unfortunately, the balance was affected. But these two create a really wonderful picture. Super positioning in the shoulder in. He's got a natural, athletic and active trot. Nice fluency between the movements. Could maybe see a little bit more suppleness and a little bit more swing. Lovely stretching there. You can really see him taking the contact down and out in the stretch. Just a bit of a lack of balance there down the short side. Here comes the extended trot. Super uphill tendency. Really covering the ground, super over track. I think that'll be even better if you can get a little bit more engagement of the hind leg. Keeping a good trot rhythm throughout. Nice pat there from Larissa. Super relaxed in the walk. Great over track, really covering the ground and marching. Good freedom of the shoulder. In my opinion, I would say that's the best walk we've seen so far in this 7-year-old final. Just quickening a little bit in the collected walk. Good pirouette though, really nice. The rhythm not quite so good in the collected walk. Just a bit of tension creeping in there. It's not so loose through the body in the collected walk. It was really nice and loose and marching in the extension. Nice half passes. A nice expressive change in the middle. That's definitely a ground covering extended canter there. Just lost a little bit of throughness. I'd like to see him a bit more over the back. Yeah, just balance was a little bit off, I would say, just before the pirouette. That was better. She had him more in the outside rein there. It just felt like he was falling onto the shoulder in the first one. Here come the changes. Nice. Oh. Just had a bit of a balance issue in between the second and third one. Just lost the straightness there. Better in the threes. The rider was working fairly hard in those changes, so I think for the higher marks they'd like to be a little bit easier. So down into her final halt. That was Larissa Pauluis riding first step Valentin, the Westphalian Biovitalis, in this 7-year-old final. A wonderful striking chestnut stallion. Lovely test. They got through to this final from the small final. They were third there and got the final 15th place into today's final competition. Let's hear what the judges have to say.
Thank you very much. We'll start with our comments on the trot program. We can see really very athletic trot, very generous with the use of the front leg, but with the ability for the hind leg to still track up, very much giving us the feeling of energy and also looking elegant, but the ability to show extension and the ability also to collect. Just in the first medium, tendency to step a little bit wide behind, but we didn't see that later in the extension. So a very nice picture. 8.7. The walk had a good overtrack. The rhythm was always clear and regular. We appreciated the way that you were able to maintain the very clear rhythm in the walk through the transitions within the pace, which made us feel very confident about the quality of the regularity. If we are to suggest something where the marks could be even higher, a little bit more shoulder freedom with the horse a little bit more over the back, but that's not to take away from what we thought was a lovely walk of 8.5. In the canter is of good quality. The carriage in the canter does vary a little bit, and there was a tendency on times to come up a little bit higher in the croup. That said, we also saw the ability to sit in one of the pirouettes, but it's not always consistent just at the moment where he is in the training, so we awarded 8.0. The submission, there weren't issues. The horse was generally obedient throughout, clearly on good lines. I suppose one observation is that occasionally the pole can come to a height that is just at risk of pushing the back away a little bit. So we would ask that you take care there. But we very much appreciated the attitude 8.0. We've given 8.5 for perspective. We think it's a horse with a generous attitude, with a lot of potential. We wish you good luck.
A super score there, and into the lead for Larissa Pauluis. She has scored a 77.736% on first step Valentin. So trot 8.7, walk 8.5, canter 8, submission 8, perspective 8.5. You can see the quality there. 83.4 and 72.071 for the technical. Into the lead, just in front of Jana Hochberg from Sweden with Astoria. She scored 77.186 when she was first into the arena. But next up we have Mikaela Lang icing for you.
Now we go to the number
She is
6.
competing for Germany, but riding a Swedish warm blood mare by Ampere out of a Bocelli 1044
Amazone. Het hier het
mare.
Zweedse quota of the quota of Sweden.
Mika rides for Helgostrand Dressage, who's been so successful here at these Young Horse World Championships. Icing for You and Mikaela were 9th in the qualifying round with 76.536. So, entering the arena now, we have Mikaela and Icing for You for Germany. Started off slightly wide behind in the halt, but corrected herself. Super uphill mare. Beautiful over track in the trot. Oh, just lost the balance slightly coming back there at the end. And again there, just slightly losing the balance at the beginning of the shoulder in. The contact was just varying slightly. The pole just dropping a little bit. Again, very naturally forward horse. Fairly good stretch. Could just stretch a little bit more, I think. I think that was a little bit conservative there. Lovely frame in the extended trot, really covering the ground. You can see that over track. Just at times I feel that the trot has been a little hurried. There's nice. Just feel like she's pushing her slightly out of balance and out of her natural rhythm. Lovely positioning in the half pass. And straight away into a relaxed walk. This mare seems really confident in the arena. Taking the stretch out nicely. Maybe see her stretch down slightly more. I think that would encourage a greater ground cover. No massive difference between the extended walk and the collected walk. Nice activity in the pirouette. Yeah, no real difference between the frame and the extended walk. However, just losing the regularity of the walk there slightly in the collection. Just anticipating the canter, I feel, a little. Seems like such a willing, happy mare. Really wanting to please her rider. super uphill ground covering extension, just dropping onto the shoulder a little bit there at the end. Just losing the activity before the pirouette. Just affected the pirouette slightly there. Like to have seen a bit more impulsion. Good expressive change though. Again there, like I said before, I just think that the mare could be slightly more uphill in the canter and rebalance the weight to behind the saddle a little bit more, and I think that would really help those pirouettes. Ooh. Missed the change on the aid. Unfortunate toilet break, but managed to get them in just before us. Again, there you can see the natural temptation is for the horse to just go a little bit on the shoulder in the canter. Much nicer in the threes. Lovely down the centre line. That's really lovely and uphill. Finishing their test there. Mikaela and icing for you. The Bay's 7-year-old Swedish warm blood by Ampere out of a Brucelli mare. 1044. Competing for Germany. So the horses for this final, they qualify through their national federation. So this horse is obviously Swedish, but they compete for Germany because Mika is from Germany. So just in case there's any confusion there.
Micah, thank you very much for showing us icing for you this afternoon. We found the trot always to be rhythmical. It tended to vary a little bit in the balance today, and we didn't always feel the horse was quite through. We could see the potential in the medium and the extensions to be able to really open and cover the ground. But we want to draw your attention to the fact that it was at times coming wide with the hind legs, which we recognised, and we've awarded for trot a mark of 7.9. The walk started relaxed, but in the extension and then in the collection, there was a little bit of tension that crept in. We feel that it could be more seeking of a forward contact through the whole body, and that the potential then for more ground cover would come. But we're happy with the rhythm in the walk today, and we awarded 7.5. We thought that the canter showed more scope today on the performance. Big scopy canter, always clear in the rhythm. Again, a little bit of variation in the uphill impression and in the self-carriage. We came to a mark of 8.1. In submission, our feeling was that throughout some of the issues that I've pointed out and that influenced our thinking was that we didn't always feel the horse was quite in front of your leg and truly through into the contact, which is why there was some variation. And then there were a couple of mistakes that we had to take into account. So today for submission, we came to a mark of 7.2. We see a lot of scope in the movement and the potential of the horse. Feeling very confident that when he's more consistently through into the contact, that there's scope for many more marks. For today, we awarded a perspective of 8.0. Thank you.
So there we have it for Mikaela and icing for you, a total of 72.379. That puts them into 6th place A 7.9 for the trot, a 7.5 for the walk, an 8.1 for the canter. Submission is 7.2 and perspective an 8. The quality 77.4 and technical 67.357. So into 6th place there with 72.379%. So there's 2 left to go now in the first half of the 7-year-old final. Next into the arena is Dinja van Liere. She is riding for the Netherlands. She's riding Haute Couture. Another mare, a KWPN by a connoisseur, out of a Craxi mare. So, starting their test in the 7-year-old finals, we have Dinja van Liere riding Haute Couture for the Netherlands. I think her favourite colour might be pink. I don't disagree with her. But anyway, on to the test. Nice steps in the medium trot, good over track. Could maybe have taken a bit more weight behind. I'd like to have seen just a little bit more engagement. Super angle in the shoulder in. Just losing a little bit of throughness in that half circle. She's got it back. I'd like to see a little bit more bend and flexion in the half pass, just around the rider's inside leg. Lovely stretch, so relaxed. Lovely to see the horse stretching down straight away. And onto the extended canter, just creeping slightly behind the vertical just before they come onto the diagonal. But again, a lovely over track. Lovely athletic mare. Super angle in the shoulder in. Much better half pass this way. Good suppleness. And straight into a lovely relaxed walk. Showing good ground cover. Nice and open in the shoulder. Taking the contact down, really relaxed. The rhythm not changing into the collected walk. Still maintaining good ground cover in the walk. We've seen a few horses where tension has crept in now, and yet this one still remains nice and relaxed. Really responding to Dinja's aids. Good half passes in canter. beautifully covering the ground in the extended canter. So expressive, really uphill. Yeah, definitely has the ability to sit in the canter. Just a bit of tension in the mouth there as she got to K. Better pirouette that time. A little bit early to the change there. Lovely straight changes. Really smart. Really forward-thinking changes. I think again for the higher marks, could just see a bit more expression in them. A bit more suspension in the canter, but a really super effort there from Dinja van Liere on haute couture. The beautiful KWPN mare, who's by Connoisseur out of a crack C mare. Really lovely test.
De proef voor Dinja van Liere.
Let's hear what the judges have to say.
Couture, Mr. Garner.
So, Haute Couture, thank you very much for showing us your lovely horse now this afternoon. Trot, always rhythmical. We appreciated the energy, and it started in the first medium a little bit on the hurried side, but then by the time we came to the extension, we found the balance was better and the quality improved. We liked very much the horse's ability in the collected trot, where the horse was very well closed, and that really showed itself to us in the quality of the lateral work, particularly in some of the half passes which sat here in the front looked a very nice quality, where they were developing expression and cadence as well, which is a product of the good level of collection. 8.8 is the mark we've given for the trot. We found the walk always to be regular, through the whole body and with overtrack, and we liked the activity. We particularly appreciated the ability to show the different walks that are required, the medium, the extended, and the collective, where you've maintained the same quality throughout, and we awarded you an 8.5. Canter program, we felt improved as the test went on, and it started in a lesser balance and quality of collection than we'd seen in the actual trot work, but that improved significantly and really demonstrated the skill of the horse to collect in the quality of the canter pirouettes. So that for us was a highlight and well executed. We awarded you a mark of 8.0. The submission, the horse really, I think, honouring the correct scale of training and in his progress of work, was today attentive and fluent, and we awarded 8.2. We think the perspective is very promising, particularly with the horse's ability to show the collection, and when the canter develops to match the quality of the collection in the trot, more marks again, 8.6. Thank you very much.
Some really super marks there for Dinja van Liere on haute couture. 8.8 for the trot, 8.5 for the walk, 8 for the canter. Submission 8.2 and perspective 8.6. Quality 84.2 and technical 73.571. An average 78.886 and into the lead.
Dinja van Liere, representing KWBN with Haute Couture, the 7-year-old mare by Connoisseur and Crexy and Jess. Let's go to spectator judging. Oh, you gave it 79.974%, and also
coming into the arena now,
a lot of good
Karina
judges
Bachmann
in Ermelo.
riding for Germany
Now the
on
last
Quadrophenia.
commentator for the break.
Another
Only 15
mare,
minutes. You can go for
a
little drink, but
Hanoverian,
please come back as soon
Consardi
as
Cherry.
possible for part 2 of the Longines final for 7-year-old horses. We welcome the horse Quadrophenia.
They were 10th in the qualifier, an 8.2 for the trot, 8.5 for the walk, 8.2 for the canter, an 8 for submission and an 8.2 for perspective. They finished on a score of 76.323%. They were in 10th, actually just behind Mika Lang, who we've already seen on Icing for You. So coming in next, Karina Bachmann riding Quadrophenia for oh, just gonna have to rebuild the arena before she starts. What a shame. So as they just rebuild those few boards, there we go. So for a second time, we welcome Karina Bachmann and Quadrophenia into the arena from Germany. Oh dear. Some really good riding there from Karina. I don't know how she's doing time-wise to get into the arena, but at least she's built the confidence back up of the horse. I think she just remembered what happened the first time she went past that bit. So Karina Bachmann and Quadrophenia. Beautiful, elegant mare, really light-footed. Very athletic in the trot. Lots of elasticity. Nice suppleness in the half 10-meter circles. So relaxed in the arena. Could just take the stretch out in the nose a little bit more. Nice stretching down though. This horse just looks so soft. Really swinging through the body. Great over track in the extended trot. I love how elegant she is. She's got over her little scary bit in the corner there. Just shows how much confidence she has in her rider, Karina. Straight away relaxed in the walk. Plenty of freedom through the shoulder in the walk, and lovely ground cover. Also a little tiny bit of tension creeping in. Just losing the connection in the end of that pirouette. Can just see her there dropping the pole. Oh dear. What a pity. Well ridden there by Karina. Not quite sure what that was really about. She obviously wasn't in front of her leg. Really covering the ground in the extended canter. Just lost the balance slightly on the way back into the working canter there in the corner. Just losing some of the activity in the pirouette. In the canter, I'd just like to see her take some more weight behind the saddle onto the hind legs and just come over the back a little bit more. I think you'd see a greater moment of suspension then, and just her be able to carry herself better in the balance. Good changes. Remaining uphill as she does her give and retake of the rein. Oh, just losing some throughness there in the first change, and in that one as well in the last. So coming down the final centre line, we have Karina Bachmann and Quadrophenia finishing their test for Germany. A really striking mare. She didn't have the easiest of rides today. Unfortunately, the submission mark will be affected, but let's hear from Mr. Gardner.
So, Karina, not the easiest start for you today with the problems at the beginning, and just for the benefit of the audience, the judges don't start to mark the test until the rider enters a day. So, but unfortunately we did have another issue later on. I think perhaps the horse's attention was a little bit outside of the arena, so I'm sorry it wasn't the easiest ride for you. We saw a trot that has a very nice quality in that it has a softness within the rhythm. There was a very nice swing and elasticity, and generally the feeling of softness in the rhythm there. At times, there could have been more collection shown, and particularly we noticed in the half passes, the horse was lacking some collection, which just made it difficult. What we'd like to make note of for the benefit of everyone who's watching is the quality of the stretch that you showed, and how nicely the horse followed the rein down, forwards and down, and that was a very nice picture in that it maintained the same rhythm and the same tempo, and so for the trot we awarded 8.5. The walk is correct, it's big, it's ground covering, it should come more out of the shoulder, and we think when it comes more out of the shoulder, as a product of being more through the body, there'll be slightly less swaying to the walk, but it's of high quality in the extension. We are looking to see the differential within the pace, so we were looking today for more collection shown, but we liked the rhythm and we awarded 8.3. Canter we found to be rhythmical and better when the horse opened out, but not always willing to take the weight and to develop the collection as much, and that we had the feeling that the horse could be a little more under and in support with the hind leg, and with that hind leg having greater activity. 7.8. In general terms in submission, there were occasions when the mouth was open and some tilting, where it wasn't always accepting the connection and accepting being through, which we reflected, but we also had to take into account what was a very big resistance today, I'm afraid. And submission is the box where we deal with that, as opposed to dealing with it within the individual movements. So we came to a 6.5. Very confident that there's many more marks to be available with this lovely mare. Difficulties today, but we've given you 8.0 for perspective. Thank you.
Some lovely fair comments there from Andrew Gardner.
Thank you.
The mare obviously did have those issues during the test which massively affected her submission mark, but an 8.5 for the trot, an 8.3 for the walk, a 7.8 for canter, a 6.5 for submission, and an 8 for perspective. So a good final score there, and here we can see the leaderboard. So Dinja van Liere on Haute Couture, 78.886. Larissa Pauluis, First Step Valentin, 77.736. Jana Hochberg, Astoria, we saw first in the arena, 77.186. Mara on Habibi, 75.221. And with Hotspot 74, Karina, that we just saw there, 73.707. Anna Zibrandtsen from Denmark, 73.021. And Mikaela Lang in 8th place, Icing for You with 72.414. So we will be coming back at 25 to 5. Have a little break now. So put the kettle on and join us back here at 4:35 Central European Time.
Astoria to start with this Longines final for 7-year-old horses. Astoria representing the Swedish Motor Association. Jana Hochberg score 77.186. On 4 it's Habibi DVB. Marta Fries representing KWBN with a score of 75.221%. And place now for Ermelo Hotspot BB. Again, representing KWBN. Hotspot BB. Forever. Cocktail. De beste 5 in de Longines final voor 7-year-old horses. U heeft 8 deelnemers gezien, dus u heeft er nog 7 teams. Only 7 competitors to go. 35 in about 7-8 minutes. Welcome back to the Longines final for the 7-year-old horses. Comes in here just a moment, and then we'll continue with the Longines final. We had already 2 new world champions. 5-year-old horses was it KWPN with Jovian, the new world champion, and for the 6-year-old horses it's the old Norgar Zucchero, and who will be the new world champion? The 7-year-old horses.
So welcome back to the Longines FEI WBFSH World Breeding Championship for young dressage horses. Here we have the final for the 7-year-olds. We are halfway through. In the lead at the moment we have Dinja van Liere on Haute Couture for the Netherlands, 78.886. In second place, Larissa Pauluis. First step, Valentine for Belgium, 77.736. And in third, we had the first partnership in the whiteboards, Jana Hochberg on Astoria for Sweden with 77.186. But just entering the arena now, we have the incredible Adelinde Cornelissen riding the KWPN Stallion by Alexandro P out of an Upperville mare. The wonderful stallion Henke, ridden by the World Olympic and European champion. She's a multi-medalist, Adelinde Cornelissen. So first rider to go after the break, Adelinde Cornelissen riding Henke. Slight lack of throughness on the move off from the halt. Lovely elastic medium trot. Really engaging those hind legs. Very steep shoulder in there. I'd like to have seen him a little bit more supple. Just lost the connection and the balance on the first half 10-meter circle. Much better into the half pass. Again there, just losing the throughness. I think that stretch was fairly modest. I would like to have seen a bit more relaxation and a bit more stretch. Nice steps in the extended trot. Again, for the higher marks, I would just like to see him more over the back, more swinging through the back. Again, they're just losing the suppleness. Straight away into a nice relaxed walk. Taking the rein down. Fantastic ground covering walk. Nice freedom of the shoulder. Really using his whole body. Good clear difference between the extended walk and the collected walk. Keeping the activity. We had a bit of an irritation on his head just before the pirouette. That was a good one. Nice balance in the half passes. Really covering the ground and the extended canter there. And a lovely forward change to finish it on. Really nice ability to sit in the canter, demonstrated in that pirouette. Oh, just lost the balance. Just before the change at A, you could just hear him clip the whiteboards. There's a bit of resistance in the mouth there. You can really see the mouth open. But again, a lovely ability to sit in the pirouette. Oh, it's late behind on the middle one. That's such a pity. Good give and retake of the reins, really showing the self-carriage. Much better threes. Lovely and straight in the changes, really well balanced. So coming down the final centre line is Adelinde Cornelissen riding Henki. A wonderful stallion. So relaxed in the arena. A really wonderful test.
Improved stallion by Alexandro PM. Adelinde Cornelissen representing KWPN.
Let's hear from the judges.
So for Henki and Adelinde, you showed us many highlights this afternoon. Thank you for that. We saw a trot that was always in an excellent rhythm. We liked very much the overtrack in the trot and the feeling that it was measured and was with a natural cadence, showing the quality of the expression. Also with an ability to collect. There could have been a little bit more stretching through the body in the forward and down in the give and retake of the reins, but overall we ended on a mark of 9.3. We saw a walk that was relaxed and in rhythm, with a lot of scope and ground quality, all the qualities that we're looking for in the walk, and the rhythm well maintained. There was a little bit of loss of rhythm that we saw in the pirouette, but we've reflected that in the submission mark in general. In terms of quality, we found the walk to be of a very high standard, and we gave 9.5. The canter also we liked, high quality, always clear in the rhythm. At times, perhaps the support from the hind leg in developing the collection isn't quite as consistent as we saw in the trot, but still very much on good lines, and we today ended on an 8.8. For submission, there were a couple of little errors, one in the changes, and on occasions we felt the horse became a bit strong in the contact, a little bit argumentative at the start, and so on occasions we found ourselves drawn to the contact, which generally could have been softer. So we ended on a 7.8. But we really appreciate the scope of this horse and the potential for the future. He has a lot of power, a lot of quality of expression, and for perspective, we finished with a mark of 9.0. Thank you.
Some fantastic scores there for Adelinde, riding this gorgeous stallion. We have a 9.3 for the trot, a 9.5 for the walk, an 8.8 for the canter, a 7.8 for the submission, and a 9 for the perspective. That gives a total of 81.079. Quality of 88.8, the first score over 80%. So well and truly into the lead by nearly 3%. Adelinde Cornelissen takes the lead in the first of the second lot of horses to come.
80.20%.
So into the arena next, we have Bettina Jaeger for Denmark. She is riding Bonderman, a chestnut stallion. He's a Westphalian by Belarus, out of an Albaster 29 mare. They are representing Denmark.
Bettina Jaeger, de Deense Amazone, rijdt hier voor het Duitse quotum, out of the quotum of Germany, Bonderman, Bettina Jaeger.
So in the qualifier, they were 7th. They were just behind Adelinde Cornelissen actually. They scored 79.286 with an 8.5 for the trot, an 8.3 for the walk, an 8.6 for the canter, an 8.5 for submission, and an 8.6 for perspective. So now coming into the arena for Denmark, we have Bettina Jaeger with Bonderman. Really big ground covering trot. Lovely over track in the medium. Again, another lovely uphill horse. Really elastic in the trot. Really nice stretch there. So relaxed and really taking the rein contact out and down. No change in the rhythm. Really super stretch. Oh, slight loss of balance there just before X. But otherwise, good steps, good ground cover. These two are creating a really lovely, harmonious picture. Straight away into a relaxed walk. Again, taking that rein down and out in the extended walk. Really marching. Covering the ground nicely and showing a clear difference between the extended walk and the collected walk. Keeping the activity nicely in the pirouette. This horse is really listening to his rider, really on her aids. Slightly quarters leading there at the start of that half pass. Much better this time. Yeah, nice. Started off slightly conservative, but actually once she really got into it, he really opened up through the shoulder and really stretched. Showing a good amount of collection there in the pirouette. Oh, late. Oh, what a shame. He jumped into the flying change, but didn't jump through behind, and just once he corrected himself, she already come back to walk, so she should have just kept cantering, but never mind. That's her first and only mistake so far. Much nicer that way. Let's hope she can crack these changes. Just a lack of balance there at the beginning. Nice. They could have travelled more forward, I feel, but the actual changes were nice and correct. It was probably on the conservative side given what happened at A. Better. Good. Again, for the higher marks, could be a slightly more forward and travelling. I think she'd then get some more expressive changes, but a really, really super test here for Bettina Jaeger and Bonderman for Denmark. Really, really wonderful to watch. Just that one small mistake in the flying change at A, which was such a pity. But let's see what Andrew Gardner has to say.
Representing the Severo Jurado Lopez.
Thank you, Bettina. We found ourselves very complimentary of Bonderman through the whole test, appreciating the way of going and honouring the development of the scale of training. We found the trot active with very well placed hind legs, always in support with a good overtrack, and so always able to maintain the energy and develop the balance so that he coped particularly well with the lateral work, which was very nice and always light. We also felt that he showed the picture we want to see, maintaining the balance in the stretch and the trot, and we award the 9.2. The walk is correct, it's rhythmical, it's relaxed. Could be sometimes with a little more activity and out of the shoulder, perhaps that's being greedy, but of high quality and on good lines. An 8.5. The canter has a good uphill tendency, with a natural carriage, and certainly showing the ability not only to open out into the extension, but also to close in preparation for the pirouettes. And we award an 8.8. Submission, we were very convinced that the horse is on correct lines and progressing well in his training, good entry, developing the collection. There was a small interruption, but nothing that really reflected on his way of going. A little bit of bad luck there. We came to an 8.7 for the submission. We wish you luck with this lovely horse for the future. For perspective, we gave a 9. We feel there's an awful lot of potential given his ability to extend and to collect, and we particularly liked his attitude and the acceptance through the program. So thank you very much.
Again, really lovely remarks there from Andrew Gardner. Fantastic scores of a total of 80.843 into second place, just behind Adelinde Cornelissen. So she got a 9.2 for the trot, an 8.5 for the walk, an 8.8 for the canter, an 8.7 for submission, and a 9 for perspective, 88.4 for quality, and 73.286 for technical. Into second place there for Denmark. Really, really wonderful horse. Definitely one for the future there. So into the arena next. For Norway, it's Isabel Freese with Total Hope OLD, a black stallion by Totalis out of Blue Horse Don Chifro.
Total Hope by Totilas, Blue Horse Don Chifro and Sandro Het. Representing in Oldenburger Verband.
In the qualifier, they came in third place with 82.184, a 9.5 for the trot, an 8 for the walk, a 9.5 for canter, 9.3 for submission, and a 9.5 for perspective. So with only 5 horses to go in this 7-year-old final, we have now starting her test for Norway, Isabel Freese and Total Hope OLD. Oh, just lost the balance coming down the centre line there. Like Andrew said earlier, the judges start counting as they enter at A, so that will be taken into account. And definitely gets his looks from his father. Lovely, expressive, elastic, medium trot. I think could have done with slightly more engagement of the hind legs. This horse has so much swing through the back. Beautiful reach in the half passes. Nice stretching. The rhythm wasn't affected at all. Maybe could have stretched a little bit more, but maybe that's being greedy. Look at that overtrack in that extended trot. Really super. Again, the pair look like they're in beautiful harmony. last year that this horse competed in the 6-year-olds under a different rider and came 9th with 8.04. Fantastic walk steps, really moving through his whole body, covering the ground, a huge overtrack in the extended walk. Nice active pirouette there. Just lost the balance slightly going into that pirouette, but remained active and then slightly anticipated that transition. Nice expressive change. I think that's something we're going to see more of through this test. Beautiful extended canter, lovely moment of suspension, really uphill. Oh, just lost the balance again there. Just dropped off of her leg a little bit. Slightly climbing, I would say, in the pirouette as well. Lovely change. Nice and straight on the diagonal line. Much better that time. Really good preparation and good riding into that pirouette. And into the changes. Lovely. You can really see how he uses his hind leg through those changes to really push him into an uphill change. Lovely. He's going to have some seriously impressive one-time tempies as he gets older. So coming into their final halt, it's the beautiful Total Hope OLD, ridden by Isabel Freese for Norway. This wonderful black stallion, an Oldenburg by Totalis out of a blue horse, Don Chifro mare. A real crowd pleaser, so settled in the arena. Let's hear from Andrew Gardner.
Hoorbaar genoten van de proef hier van deze Totiazoon. Goedgekeurd bij het SWB en het Hannoveraner stamboek. De Oldenburg Total Hope.
Isabel, thank you very much. We so enjoyed many aspects of Total Hope's performance this afternoon. The trot is of very, very high quality, rhythmical. We very much like the cadence, and we were forever commenting on how supple it looked and how elastic, which is a lovely quality that we look for in the trot. Could have been a little bit more stretch in the give and then the retake of the reins, but we came to a 9.2. The walk showed good activity, a clear 4-beat. In the extension was good. A little bit hesitant in the collected, which we felt remained in the 4-beat, but just a little bit hesitant, and we came to an 8.5. I have to say, in canter, we found ourselves often with our jaw hanging because we feel that he does, from the point of view of quality, have an exceptional canter. It's uphill, it's balanced, it's off the ground, it's rhythmical, it's expressive, and it takes one's breath away on occasions. From the point of view of quality, we have today awarded a 10 for his canter. We think in terms of submission, that generally the program was very fluent and on good lines. There were a few little minor issues. He dropped you going into the pirouette and he broke on the entry, perhaps not always quite remaining in front of your leg and anticipating, but we liked the general impression, and we awarded for submission an 8.8. We think that this horse has massive scope for the future, enormous talent, scope in his movement and expression, and we award 9.5. Thank you very much.
So there we have it, our first 10 in the 7-year-old final. 9.2 for the trot and 8.5 for the walk. The 10 for that wonderful canter. 8.8 for the submission, 9.5 for perspective, 84.250, and well and truly into the lead.
24.25 and in the lead, Total Hope.
So there we have it. Isabel Freese and Total Hope OLD into the lead. Quality 92%. Technical 76.5 with an average of 74.250. So next into the arena we have Jan Wolo Christensen. He is riding the 7-year-old stallion, a Danish warm blood, Hasselho Donkey Boy. This partnership were second in the qualifier with 84.884%, representing Denmark. We have Jan Wolo Christensen and Hasselho Donkey Boy. Wow, incredibly uphill horse. A wonderful medium trot there. Incredible ground cover. Matched equally in front as to behind. Slight head tilt maybe there in the shouldering and the half 10-meter circle. Lovely crossing in the half pass. Remaining really uphill and balanced throughout. This horse has a really wonderful natural engine. Here we go for the extended trot. Look at that over track. Those hind legs really powering. Oh, a tiny little lack of balance there coming back. Nice shoulder in this way. Slightly tentative into the walk transition there. My goodness, what an overtrack. That's got to be about 4 hoofs worth of overtrack there in that walk. Really using his whole body. That's some serious freedom in the shoulder. And a clear difference shown in the collected walk. Keeping the rhythm clear. Could just see a bit more of the freedom that we saw in that extended walk, in this collected walk. Good activity in the pirouettes. Lovely balance in the half pass. I don't feel like that flying change was completely on his aids. I think he asked to stride earlier for that. This extended trot should help, extended canter, sorry, should help with that. Yeah, lovely. Just losing the balance slightly there towards the end, just tipping onto the shoulder slightly. But there it is again, that uphill tendency. Good ability to collect in the pirouette. Oh, little problem there with the balance. Oh, just lost the activity again there. Oh, again. Just a little bit slow to his aids in the changes. Good. Yeah, nice. First one I feel slightly on the shoulder, but much better in the second too. So coming down the centre line and into their final halt, we have Jan-Ole Christensen and Hasselhout Donkey Boy for Denmark. Lovely bay stallion by Era Dancing Hit out of a Milan mare.
Proved stallion by several stud books. A sort of dancing it in Milan and Kawango.
This is going to be interesting. Let's wait and hear what the judge has to say. Is he going to challenge for that top spot that Isabel Freese is in?
In the lead, total hook 84.25%.
We're spoiled this afternoon with the quality of the beautiful horses that we're seeing in front of us. And here is another one. The trot, the horse has exceptional talent. It's very big and active and generous in the trot, with enormous scope to cover the ground, and also the ability to collect that it showed us in the quality of the lateral work. Always uphill, we like the freedom of the shoulder and the looseness and elasticity of the trot. 9.5 is our mark. We were only able to find a 10 for the walk because that's all we have available. One thing I would like to point out is that with a walk that is so enormous, we did sit a little bit on the edge of our seats to see how the horse would cope coming back for collection. We were very satisfied the horse was able to collect and to maintain a lovely quality of 4-beat rhythm and relaxation throughout. So well done. Canter, in a clear rhythm, uphill, expressive, showing talent. A few little inconsistencies. Today we came to a 9.0. For the submission, there were a few blips, shall we say, but nothing that really reflected our thinking about the quality of his general way of going. We appreciated the performance very much. Occasionally comes just slightly high in the pole at the risk of perhaps pushing the back away, but with the quality that we've seen, we can see this isn't an issue. It's more about perhaps our tendency to be greedy. Perhaps we always want more and more, but we like so much what we saw. But today, for submission, 8.7. For perspective, we see this as a real athlete. Donkey Boy has tremendous scope and talent, and we award you a 10.
Wow, 2 10s there for Hasselho's Donkey Boy and the amazing Jan Waller Christensen, 85.021 with 9.5 for the trot, a 10 for the walk, a 9 for the canter, an 8.7 for submission, and another 10 for perspective, 94.9 for the quality, and 75.6 for the technical, averaging out at 85.021 and into the lead for Hasselho's Donkey Boy and Jan Moller Christensen for Denmark. So now it gets interesting. We have just 3 left to go, and next up is the winner of the qualifier with 85.046. So he also won the 6-year-olds last year with 92.6 as well. So definitely one to watch out for. We have Severo Jurado Lopez riding for Spain with Davy, the Helgestrad dressage horse, and he's becoming a little bit of a legend. The beautiful chestnut stallion, a Hanoverian, Don Juan by a Londonderry mare. Friday in the qualifier they scored a 9.8 for the trot, an 8.5 for the walk, a 10 for the canter, a 9 for submission, and a 9.8 for perspective. They're going to be looking to do one better today. So into the arena we have Severo Jurado Lopez for Spain riding Davy. Beautiful uphill, elastic medium trot. Look at the ground cover there. Showing the real ability to sit behind, just a bit of a loss of balance in the corner there. Beautiful crossing in the shoulder in. Just lost a bit of straightness down the centre line there. Look at the reach in that half pass. Unbelievable. And beautiful stretch out and down. That's what we want to see. And here comes the extended trot. quite literally floating across the arena. A hind leg equally matched by the forelimb. Just there's the occasional stride where he just slightly loses the balance. Better on those 2 half 10-meter circles. This horse has so much power, so much elasticity in the trot. Straight away into a relaxed walk. It's going to be hard to beat the horse that we just saw before. But a nice overtrack, really marching in the walk. Keeping the rhythm. Nicely active around the pirouette. Lovely bend through the body around the pirouette. Slightly anticipating that canter transition there. Nice, well balanced flying change. So much jump in the canter. Beautifully uphill. Fabulous moments of suspension. And again, beautiful differences between the collected canter and the extended canter there across the diagonal. And into the pirouettes, demonstrating the ability to sit beautifully into the pirouette, keeping the activity and the balance. And again, nice and equal on both reins. And now for the changes. Big expressive changes. Quite a lot of swing in there though. I would have liked to have seen them a bit straighter. Really high quality changes though, keeping the uphill tendency. Lovely uphill canter down the center line. The crowd are going mad. What a test from Severo Jurado Lopez and DRV for Spain. Beautiful stallion Hanoverian by Don Juan de Haas. Absolutely stunning performance there. Let's see what Andrew Gardner and his team of judges have to say about that one. I can imagine there'll be a few tens in there.
We saw a trot that was very rhythmical and with expression, occasionally coming a little bit against you through the pole, but we saw such wonderful expression and ground cover and ability in the collection, a 9.4. The walk improved in the collected walk, in the extended walk, just looking for a little bit more ground cover, but very clear in the rhythm and in the quality, and we awarded 8.8. We think the horse has tremendous scope in the canter, which is so off the ground and expressive and in the air, and with such a lovely, clear three-beat rhythm. A couple of little blips and interruptions today which we felt were more to do with the submission and the underlying quality of the canter, which is exceptionally high, and we awarded 10. We saw a program of very high quality, few little interruptions, and not always through the pole, but generally secure. On the super way, we awarded 8.8. And for perspective, the talent is so clear that the horse has a wonderful future ahead with the scope it has in all its movements and its talents. And today we award 9.5. Thank you.
So there we have it, another 10 on the leaderboard there for the canter.
Let's go. Trot.
Into
8.8.
the lead, we have a 9 point for the trot, an 8.8 for the walk, a 10 for the canter, an 8.8 for submission, and a 9.5 for perspective, 93% for the quality, 77.2 for the technical, and into the lead with 85.107 there for Severo Jurado Lopez and Spain. So, with only 2 riders to go, that guarantees Severo Jurado Lopez and DV a top spot on the podium. 85.107. Hasselhoff Donkey Boy in second place with 85.021. Incredibly close at the top, but we have the wonderful Dorothee Schneider coming into the arena now. Again, another multi-medalist from Olympic, World and European Championships. We have Dorothee Schneider riding Sisters Act OLD von Rosenker. She is a mare by Sandro Hitt out of a Royal Diamond Mother, and they are representing Germany. In the qualifier, they were 5th with 81.43 for a 9.8 for the trot, and 8.2 for the walk, and 8.5 for the canter, 8.5 for submission, and an 8.8 for perspective. So let's see if they can climb the leaderboard today and challenge Severo or Jan at the top spot for a potential podium place. Here we have Dorothee Schneider and Sisters Act OLD von Rosenker. Lovely elastic mare, really covering the ground in the medium trot. Could maybe see a little bit more push from behind. Beautiful working trot. I have a feeling that this horse will have a wonderful passage. Super balance. A really harmonious picture that these two are creating. Dorothee does such a good job of making everything look so easy. That's a wonderful stretch, really taking the rein down and out there, blowing her nose to show ultimate relaxation. Oh, what a shame. Just totally lost the balance there. Fell onto the shoulder and cantered. It's the first blip that we've seen from these two today. Wonderful angle in the shoulder in. Maintaining that uphill tendency throughout the whole of the trot program, and a wonderful regular trot rhythm into a really nice relaxed walk. Again, a nice walk, not quite that of Hasselho's Donkey Boy though. I mean, that was extraordinary. You don't see many walks like that. Nice clear difference between the extension and the collected walk. Really marching, keeping that activity throughout the pirouette. Balance in the half passes. Again, really covering the ground. Just getting a little bit strong in the hand towards the end there. I could have just seen her carry a little bit more weight in the hind leg to really show that collection. Better that way. Lovely changes, travelling forward. This mare has a really lovely attitude to her work. She looks like she really wants to please her rider. Is lovely and active and elastic in all of her paces. So coming down the final centre line and getting a little bit excited into the halt. Dorothee Schneider there riding Sisters Act OLD von Rosenkehr. Beautiful dark bay Oldenburg mare by Sandro Hitt out of a Royal Diamond mare. Just become a little bit unsettled there in the atmosphere. The crowd got super excited in the halt, but let's hear from the judges.
Dorothee, we start by thanking you and praising you for beautiful riding of a young horse, a lovely presentation. The horse has real talent in the trot. Always correct in rhythm, a beautiful profile in the frame, lovely stretch when you offered the rein, quite classical. It was unfortunate to have the break, so we didn't see the extension. We did see a median, but we feel we need to see the extension that wasn't available to us today, but we award you still 9.8. The quality is so clear in the trot. And I would also like to add that that quality was very much manifest in the precision and the quality of the lateral work, which was a real product of the correctness. The walk had a good overtrack and was clear in the rhythm, lost a little bit of the quality in the collected walk, and the rhythm slightly disturbed in the pirouette, which we've reflected in the submission. But in the main, for the walk overall, we were happy with the picture. We came to an 8.5. We think the canter work was very well presented. It was always uphill. But from nature, it doesn't, at the moment, match the trot and could have a little bit more jump and suspension. Showing talent in the development of the pirouettes, and we gave an 8.5. We came to an 8.7 for the submission. As I started with, we very much appreciated the quality of the presentation. It was unfortunate to have just a little blip in the extension and just that loss of a bit of rhythm in the pirouette. And we stayed on an 8.7 for perspective. We're very confident in such good hands that the future of this horse is good and with such lovely potential in the trot. So thank you very much.
A fantastic score there for Dorothee Schneider on Sisters Act OLD von Rosenkær, 81.450, and 9.8 for the trot, and 8.5 for the walk and the canter, and an 8.7 for the submission and perspective. So totaling there in 81.450, the quality 88.4, and the technical 74.5. That puts them into fourth place, just behind Isabel Freese for Norway on Total Hope OLD. So just missing out on a podium place there for Dorothee, with one final ride to go, and it is Stefanie Wolf for Germany riding Matchball OLD, a black gelding, an Oldenburg by Millennium out of a De Niro 6 mare. The last rider to go. She was fourth in the qualifier with a 9.5 for the trot, an 8.8 for the walk, a 9 for the canter, an 8.5 for the submission, and a 9.2 for perspective, giving her a total of 81.875 in the qualifier. Will she take a podium place here for the 7-year-old final at the World Championships? To get onto the podium, she needs to beat Isabel Freese for Norway with Total Hope OLD. They scored an impressive 84.250. So, starting their test for Germany is Stefanie Wolf with Matchball OLD. Again, another very elegant horse, lengthening the frame and the stride there in the medium. Just lost maybe a little bit of connection towards the end of the medium trot. Lovely loose trot, really athletic and elegant. Lovely crossing in the half pass. This horse shows a good balance in the trot. Good contact taken in the stretch. She could have maybe let the reins go a little more. He was really stretching down and out there in that trot, and the rhythm never changed. Better connection there for the extended trot. Nice over track. Lovely, soft, supple horse. Again, showing plenty of harmony, lovely bend and flexion there in the half pass. A good transition to walk. Immediately showing relaxation. Good over track in the walk. A nice freedom of the shoulder. Could maybe stretch a little bit more. This horse seems to have a really lovely attitude to his work. Good activity in the pirouette. Just opening the mouth there in the canter half pass. Bit of resistance. Also, I think he was dropping his pole as well in the first half of the half pass. Just want to see that pole at the highest point at all times through the test. Bit of a modest extended canter. I'd like to have seen a bit more expression there. She could have definitely gone for it a bit more. Good collection for the pirouette. Again, nice that he has the ability to really take the weight behind in the pirouette. Nice changes. I'm not sure if I counted a 5 instead of a 4 then. But I glanced away at my computer screen and missed it. But the 3s were good. Just could have maybe kept a bit more of the uphill tendency in the canter. But coming to their final halt, the final competitor for this 7-year-old final, Stefanie Wolf for Germany, riding the wonderful gelding Matchball OLD, who is by Millennium out of De Niro 6. So our final horse has gone for the whole of the competition. So let's hear what the judge has to say. Was it best till last?
So a really lovely test to finish this very special championship for us this afternoon. So thank you very much for your presentation today. The trot has a very natural beauty and quality to it. It's soft, it's regular, it's elastic. It was very well presented. The contact was always lovely. It was a really very special medium trot, just as we're looking for. Being greedy as judges, we would say perhaps in the extension it could have had just a little bit more over track, but we award you a 9.8. The walk was always regular and relaxed, and what we particularly liked was the quality of the collected walk. It's easy for us always to get carried away with enormous big walks for the extension, but today we saw high quality in the collected walk as well, and we gave 9.0. In the canter, we saw a very big jump, an awful lot of scope for the horse. On occasions, it could be a little bit more uphill, and we thought perhaps you may have taken a bit more risk for the extension, but in a lovely way of going, very correct, and showing quality for the pirouettes. Today we gave an 8.8. For submission, we really appreciate the way of riding and the way you present the horse on such good lines. Very much appreciated the contact and the forward profile through the neck, and the very lovely picture, 9.0. And then for perspective, we feel that the horse is on such good lines and the trot is very well developed. The canter will improve. At the moment it's still a little bit green in the changes, but the quality is there to be seen. So for perspective, a 9.5, and we thank you for a lovely test to finish off our championship.
Some fantastic scores there for Stefanie Wolf and Matchball OLD. A 9.8 for the trot, a 9 for the walk, and an 8.8 for canter, a 9 for submission, and a 9.5 for perspective. Into fourth with 82.993, a quality 92.2, a technical 73.786. So into fourth place, just missing out on the podium there. But what an incredible competition this has been. I can only echo Andrew Gardner for saying what a special competition it has been. Here we have our leaderboard. Severo on Devi, 85.107, and our new world champion for 7-year-olds, Jana Christensen and Hasselhoed Donkey Boy in silver, 85.021. Isabel Freese taking bronze with Total Hope OLD, 84.250. Stefanie, who we just saw there, in fourth with 82.993. Dorothee Schneider, 81.450. Adelinde, and then down to 9th place, Larissa Pauluis on First Up Valentin, 77.736. It truly has been such a special competition. We're going to now wait for the prize giving for our new world champion, Severo Jurado Lopez, for Spain. He took the World Championship last year in the 6-year-olds with this same horse, Davy. This year he scored an impressive 75.107, but it was tight at the top because in second place we had Jana Christensen for Denmark with Hasselhoed Donkey Boy, 85.021. So less than 0.8% between the two of them. And then in third place we had that wonderful black stallion by Total Hope OLD with Isabel Freese. They had a really lovely harmonious test. They represented Norway here in this championships. So this is actually the first final that Andreas Helgestrand wasn't in this year. In the 5-year-olds, he took the gold medal on his stallion Jovian and the bronze on Queen Park's Wendy. And again, this morning in the 6-year-old, he took the silver on Revolution and then the bronze on Zeppelin Langholt. Four wonderful horses in the 6-year-old. Frederick von Dres took the gold medal for Germany with Zacharo OLD, but in this wonderful 7-year-old final here today, it is one of the Helgestrand dressage horses that have taken the gold, but not with the man himself riding. This time with Severo Jurado Lopez for Spain, the wonderful stallion by John Juan de Hus out of a Londonderry mare. Our world champion Donevi. So just waiting for the prize giving. The top 8 will come through. So it's looking like we're about ready for the prize giving. Here we go. This is the Longines FEI WBFSH World Dressage Breeding Championships for young horses. This is the 7-year-old final. In 8th place, we have Dinja van Liere for the Netherlands with 78.886 riding Haute Couture. Lovely KWPM mare by Connoisseur out of a crack C mare. In 7th place is Bettina Jaeger for Denmark, 80.843% on Bonderman. A wonderful harmonious test from this stallion by Belarus. Definitely a talent for the future. Into 6th place for the Netherlands, we have Adelinde Cornelissen riding Henke, the base stallion, another KWPN by Alexandro P out of an Upper Bill mare, 81.186.
The number 5.
Into 5th place, again for Germany, the Sisters Act Old, Boom Romancare, ridden by the wonderful Dorothee Schneider. This beautiful Oldenburg mare by Sandro Hitt out of a Royal Diamond mare. A really stunning partnership. And finally, in 4th place, we just saw her representing Germany. We have Stefanie Wolf riding the wonderful gelding Matchball Old by Millennium out of a De Niro mare. Well done to the 4th to 8th riders here in the 7-year-old final. Now we wait for our medalists. the top three in this World Championships.
Ik ga je voorstellen aan de dames en heren van het protocol. The prizes in this Longines final for the 7-year-old horses will be presented by Mr. Van Kemenade, the chairman of the FEI Dressage Committee. And on behalf of Longines, Judith Menne, the brand manager of the Netherlands, Mr. Jan Pedersen, the president of the World Breeding Federation for Sport Horses, Mr. Hille Frankema, board member of the organization committee, and Ulrike Nivelle, the president of the ground jury.
So we welcome them in. Our new world champion, Severo Jurado Lopez for Spain, riding Davy, the Hanoverian stallion by Don Juan Tejus, out of a London dairy mare. What a test they did. The crowd went wild. They were world champions last year in the 6-year-old, and they've done it again. He really is unstoppable. For Helga Strand Dressage, the beautiful stallion DAV. And next to him there, Jan Moller Christensen in second place for Denmark, with Hasselhoed Donkey Boy, the lovely Danish warm blood by Era Dancing Hit out of a Milan mare. And then in third place for Norway, Isabel Freese with Total Hope OLD, another Oldenburg stallion by Totalis out of a blue horse Don Chiffreau mare. So your new world champion, Severo Jurado Lopez from Spain.
FEI plate goes to Total Hope, Isabel Freese, representing the Oldenburger Verband.
So our bronze medalist, Isabel Freese for Norway, riding the wonderful stallion Total Hope. Super chilled in the prize giving.
The breeder, Christine Arons Krokman, and the owner, Ronburg Hendriksen and Paul Schockmer, the Total Hope. For this Oldenburger
Prize for the breeder as well.
Kijk, en daar ziet u de heer Kemperman die prachtige bronzen plaatsen uitreiken aan Isabel Freese.
A lovely trophy for Isabel Freese.
What a great result. With the stallion, the Total Stallion, Total Hope. We go.
And then on to our silver medalist, Jan Moller Christensen for Denmark, Hasselhoed Donkey Boy with a huge 85.021%. A wonderful test from this beautiful stallion. It was so close at the top. Again, a prize for the breeder. And also a trophy for Jan.
Representing the Danish Warblood Society, Hasselhoed Donkey Boy.
And now, on to our new gold medalist. For Spain, we have Severo Jurado Lopez riding DAV, our new world champion. So, from me, Natasha Baker, I'll let you enjoy this prize giving. It's been a true honour to watch all these incredible riders and horses. And congratulations to all of our world champions, Andreas Helga Strand, Severo Jurado Lopez and Frederick Vondres for the 5, 6 and 7-year-old championships. What a competition it's been. Enjoy the prize giving and good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please all rise for the national anthem of Germany. Das congratulations by Judith Mann. She's the brand manager for Longines Netherlands, and she hands over a beautiful Longines watch here to the winner, Severo Jurado Lopez. Moment voor de fotografen om het allemaal op de gevoelige plaat vast te leggen. En dat gebeurt nu volop. And also the congratulations by Mrs. Judith Mann. As I said, the brand manager for the Netherlands for Longines. The congratulations for the number 2, Jan Christensen and his wonderful Hesselo Donkey Boy. And then, of course, to Isabel Freese with that marvelous stallion Total Hope representing the Oldenburger Verband. And there, congratulations by Judith Mann. Thank you very much. And now we invite Mr. Jan Pedersen, head of Frankema, and Mrs. Ulrike Nivel, the president of the ground jury, to congratulate the winners. The certificates for the breeders are handed over by Mr. Jan Pedersen, the president of the World Breeding Federation for Sport Horses. Breeder Dorothee Schneider, for that wonderful stallion Davy. Congratulated by Mr. Hille Frankema, and also the congratulations on behalf of the ground jury, the president Ulrike Nivel. Beautiful flowers for the grooms. There, the certificate for the breeder of Hesselo Donkey Boy, Dorothee. Hans-Jürgen Hoek. Hier de gelukwensen namens de organisatie, overgebracht door meneer Hille Frankema. En de gelukwensen namens de jury door mevrouw Ulrike Nivel. En dat gaat nu ook gebeuren bij Isabel Freese met de Totilasso Total Hope. De breeder Christine Arns Kroopman en de owner, the combination Rodenburg Hendriksen en Paul Schockmeuler. Verband, Danish Warmblood Society en de Oldenburger Verband. Kijk, daar de laatste gelukwensen die worden overgebracht aan de fokkers van die geweldige Total Hope, de nummer 3 van dit Longines wereldkampioenschap voor 7-jarige paarden. Ja, en dan voordat we naar de ereronde gaan, een enorm dankjewel aan Longines. Thanks very much, Longines, for this beautiful championship. One beautiful picture over there. Oh, en dat wordt een mooie ereronde. De allerbeste muziek. De beste paarden ter wereld. Hier in Ermelo, dames en heren. En dan Ermelo zo uit zijn dak. Bij deze ereronde. Oké, everybody ready? Let's start the music. There they come! incredible championships. Wat een publiek hier in Ermelo. Dames en heren, enorm bedankt voor uw enthousiasme. Thank you very much. You're a fantastic public here in Ermelo. We really enjoyed the last 4 days with this beautiful championships. Another thanks to Longines. They made it all happen here in Ermelo. Thanks. Come home safe. Come home safe. And keep enjoying this wonderful World Championships.